Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to another YouTube more. Today we are doing another action figure review. Today is finally the long-awaited Deadpool and Wolverine Marvel Legends review. Here I have 3 out of the 4 figures. The only one I'm missing is Logan with the head pull, or head pull with Logan. That's just because I didn't really care enough for that figure to get it. As of right now, I might get it later down the line, but not right now. But I have the 3 that I wanted the most finally in hands, and I've had these guys for like a month or 2 now. So finally thought it was time to do this review because I know some of y'all have been asking, like Ultimate Merc Productions. But yeah, finally gonna be doing this review for you guys. And yeah, pretty excited to finally review these guys for you. So with that said, let's get into it. Starting off with the man of the hour, we're going to start off with Deadpool because it was his movie. So yeah, we have Deadpool from Deadpool and Wolverine. So now pretty much let's just take a look at it. So starting off with the head sculpt, it looks pretty nice. It is, so this figure is, I think, a new sculpt almost entirely. Fairly sure they might have changed up the arms a little bit. I think the shoulders are reused compared to the previous figure, but yeah, the legs are definitely new because the old one wasn't pinless. This one is, so that is really nice. He's got all the nice gold belt buckles painted throughout. The head sculpt is new. I don't know, I think I prefer the old head sculpt on the Legacy Collection version though over this one. I think I am missing a little bit paint right there, just on the bottom of the eye, but that doesn't really matter too much. But he does have the belt buckles nicely painted right there on the belt. He does have, rather than the silver buckles and stuff on the older one, he does have gold now, which I actually think is pretty cool. I like that a lot. He does have the same straps that are nicely that the thigh swivels are nicely hidden behind. He does have all that nice MCU texture all throughout the figure, the nice basketball leathery texture. Again, he is completely pinless this time around, which is nice. So yeah, he's got the pinless arms, and the back is nice as well. He does have his sheaths back here for his katana. He does have I really like the butterfly joints, how hidden they are in the shoulders right there. He does have the golden paint all throughout. And then he does have, this time around, his holsters for the guns. You can actually take out the guns, and he does have the holsters for them, so that is pretty nice. But that's pretty much it. Overall, it is kind of just a redo of the Legacy Collection / the original version that came in the 2-pack with Negasonic Teenage Warhead. So it is kind of just a redo of it with newer pieces. Like I think the torso is new because it doesn't have the bullet holes and the scratches and all the dings and dangs like the old one did. But yeah, but the paint is really nice on mine. He's got all the black paint is nice. He does have a knife sheath right there on his left leg, and then he does have the brown paint all throughout on the belt, and he does have the golden paint. They did kind of skip out right there on the back, but that's all right. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it in terms of Deadpool. So now let's see what accessories this guy comes with. Starting off over here, we do see that he does have his swords in there, which are nice and tight. Those are just the same exact versions from the previous Deadpool. But yeah, it comes with the 2 katanas right there. They are the same exact sculpt. The paint is chipping a little bit, so that does kind of suck. But it is a nice tight fit in there, so that is really nice. So he comes with 2 katanas. He does also come with his knife over here, which is the same exact thing as the previous Deadpool. Also, I did want to mention that I do have a review up on my channel, and it is a pretty good review, I think, of the Deadpool Legacy Collection figure. So I do have a review for this guy up on my channel, so if y'all want to go check that out, you can. But yeah, he does come with the knife, and this does go into his sheath nicely right down there. So that is a pretty nice snug fit, not falling out anytime soon. So that's nice. He does also come with, on the figure, obviously, he has his trigger holding hands, and that is for his guns that I did previously mention. Now, I actually think that these guns are a little bit different than the movie 1 version. I don't know what I did with, or I have the guns in my bucket, but don't really feel like getting it out. But I'm pretty sure last I checked, these guns are actually, I think, a little bit different than the movie 1 and 2 version. So yeah, pretty cool guns, and they do fit into his holsters. The guns are actually kind of loose, I think, last I checked. They're a pretty snug fit, but if you, oh wow, the knife just fell out, but they're a pretty snug fit, but if you do mess around with a little bit, the gun, of course it's not going to fall out now on camera, but they will fall out eventually, so I wouldn't be too rough with that. I do need to go grab the knife now. So yeah, never mind. The knife it is a snug fit, but it's not too snug, so do be careful. But yeah, overall, he does come with the same exact accessories as the previous figure, so he does have a nice little arsenal over here. The guns are a little bit different, like I said, but yeah, that is cool. He does come with all his weapons that he used in the movies, and he does also, for his last accessories, come with a pair of golden plated gripping hands, which is for the knife / katana, so you can fit the knife and baby knife in here, which is pretty cool. And then you can put the katana in the other hand, or vice versa. And then these hands are for the guns, so that is pretty nice snug fit. So yeah, overall he does come with a good amount of accessories. He could have used the other version. The original version did come with more hands. He came with fisted hands, and he came with open hands, which is really nice. As you can see here, came with open hands, which is really cool. I wish this version came with those hands, because it would have been a nice, easy, simple reuse. And also, come on, Hasbro, where's the unmasked Wade Wilson head? Because we've been waiting for one for a while now. The original version didn't come with it. The Dusty version of the suit didn't come with it. And the Legacy Collection didn't come with it. So this would have been the perfect opportunity to come with an unmasked head sculpt. I swear, by the next time we get more Deadpool and Wolverine figures, he better have an unmasked Wade Wilson head sculpt. But overall, pretty nice accessories. Pretty good. Could have used an unmasked head sculpt or some extra hands, but he doesn't really need it, if I'm being honest. So yeah, overall, pretty good accessories. So with that said, let's get into Wolverine. Wait. Almost forgot the articulation. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. So first off, if my camera would focus, he does look up this far. He does have a ball joint at the head sculpt, and then another ball joint at the, yeah, he does have another ball joint at the, focus, at the neck. So yeah, he does get some nice tilt. He gets about that far up and that far down, so it's all right. He does get all the way around as well. His arms go about 90 degrees up. He does have very nice butterfly joints, so that is really good. It does go that far up and that far back, so that's really nice. And then he does have all the way around. He has bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows, which is nice. Then he does have the hinge and swivel on the hands. Unfortunately, no new updated articulation on this figure, but he does have the waist joint, which I hate. It's alright on this figure. And then he does have the ab crunch, which is pretty good on this figure. The katanas do get in the way a little bit, but not all that much. Also, this time around, the Legacy Collection didn't have this, where the belt strap actually plugs into the shoulder right there, the shoulder strap. So that is, it's different, but he does have the legs that go up that far, nicely hidden thigh swivel, double jointed pinless knees, and then he does have some nice articulation in the ankles. So now we can get into, if my camera would freaking focus, now we can get into Wolverine. Taking a nice look at, one thing I forgot to mention, that Deadpool does fall over sometimes, but with that said, now we can take a nice look at Wolverine. So he does have a nice head sculpt. It does kind of look like Hugh Jackman, so that is good. One complaint that I do have with these figures is sometimes if you like look at them, they do kind of look a little bit like, I don't want to say Happy Meal-ish, but kind of plain just because it's so like bright. Now I do really like the brightness, but like it could have used like a wash, especially on the Wolverine, but it's all right. But yeah, he does have that nice silver paint over there, which I think is really cool. The head sculpt is pretty nice. Now on mine, the masked head sculpt is a little bit loose, which kind of sucks, but it's all right. But the paint is pretty nice. They didn't paint the silver on the back, but that's all right. Yeah, paint is pretty nice. He does have, it is a completely 100% new sculpt. It would have been nice if they did the lower ab crunch and the upper diaphragm joint, but it's all right. The X-Men belt is really nicely painted. He does have these claws. I actually really like these claws. They are different from the other movie claws, like on Wolverine over here. They are different than these claws, but I actually really like those. I really like these claws. They're nice. But the gauntlets are nice. Now I've seen some people customize the thing and then like take off the arms and replace it with the other Logan arms. I'm not gonna do that just because I don't want to mess up my figure, because I know some people have broken them. But yeah, I don't want to do that really. But that is an option out there. But yeah, he does look really nice. The paint overall is pretty good. He does have some really good paint. There's no real like missteps on my figure or mistakes. I don't really have any QC issues on mine, which is pretty cool. That's actually great because a lot of my figures recently have been getting QC issues. But yeah, so he does have the nice paint on the hands, on the fist right there, and the tiger stripes. This is obviously the tiger stripe suit. He does have that tiger stripes on the side, and the belt is a separate piece. So yeah, now let's get into his accessories. Like I previously stated, he has the masked head on and then the clawed hands on the figure already, but he does come with an alternate, he does come with these alternate hands. He has the, Jesus Christ, please. He does have these alternate hands, so he comes with one fisted hand and one open gripping hand. Would have been nice if he came with two fisted hands and two open hands, but it's all right. Again, nice paint on the hands. And then he does come with an alternate unmasked Logan head sculpt, which is really nice. This head sculpt looks freaking amazing. It's actually incredible how much detail they put into these head sculpts. And the hair is perfect. It looks amazing. The eyes, especially if you compare it next to this older version, both of these head sculpts are amazing and immaculate. They're amazing, but they both really look like Hugh Jackman. So yeah, great job, Hasbro, on your head sculpts, because this looks exactly like Hugh Jackman. I do notice that the head sculpt, the beard isn't the same on both head sculpts, but it's alright. So you can pop off this head sculpt and put on this one. Now, technically it would make more sense for this one because he never had the bear. He had the bear sleeves whenever he wore the mask, but it's alright. So yeah, kind of lackluster, not gonna lie, his amount of accessory, because he only comes with what, 2 head sculpts and then 2 pairs of hands. Could have used some alternate hands, but overall I think that he does come with a pretty good amount, or not good amount, but like bare bones what you could give the Wolverine. So yeah, he does come with that. So that's his accessories. Now let's get into his articulation. Starting off with the head sculpt, he does look up that far, so it's all right. Not the best if you want to give him some nice crouching poses, but not the worst. He does look pretty much not that great far down. He does have a little bit of tilt, and then he does have his arms are hindered by the shoulder straps. They do go up a little bit, but they're not the greatest in terms of articulation. They do get hindered a little bit. This arm actually goes up farther than this arm, but trying to see if I can get that. Yeah, so they don't go up the greatest, but now we get this new articulation that Hasbro has never done before, minus these on these figures, which is the shoulder rotation, these shoulder rotator cuffs, which is like what DC does for what McFarlane does for their DC multiverse. You see that we have this. Whoa, that is way too bright. You see that we have this, like, rotator cuff. I don't know if you guys can see that. Inside the shoulder armpits instead of the butterfly joints. So, yeah, he does. That is pretty new, or it's pretty cool. It's different than what we normally see with Marvel Legends, like on a Deadpool figure. But, yeah, I don't know. They're alright. I do genuinely prefer the butterfly joints, but it is cool to see Hasbro test out new stuff. But he does have butterfly joint, sorry, not butterfly joint, bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows, which is really nice. And he does have the hinge and swivels on the claw hands, or on all hands. And then he does have the older articulation ab crunch, which is pretty nice, and then goes that far forward, that far back. And he does have the dreaded, in my opinion, waist swivel that goes all the way around. Although on this figure, it's nice and tight, so that's good. He kicks up that far, thigh swivel, double jointed pinless elbows, no boot cut, but he does have the ankle articulation, and then he does get some pivot in there. So yeah, overall, pretty basic articulation, nothing too fancy schmancy with these figures, but overall, good enough. They do what you need them to do. So now we're going to get into the final figure, which is, of course, Colossus. Okay, so taking a look at Colossus, this guy is incredible, a really great figure. Starting off with the head sculpt, he does have those whited out eyes, which is really cool, just like the movie. And then the silver paint on this guy is incredible. It's not like that marbleized plastic, it's actually silver paint, and it looks really good on this figure. And all the black bands on his arms and on his neck is painted very nicely. He's got all that amazing detail for the arms, for the silver parts. So yeah, that is amazing. They even did it in the joints right there, painted that. So that is really nice. He does have this like cool X design for the torso, but yeah, so this guy is amazing. The silver paint on this guy is incredible, and it just really stands out on your shelf and looks great in my opinion. He does have some red paint up there on the torso, right there, and it is in the shape of an X. He does have that the X belt buckle just like Wolverine, except his is silver. And then the rest of the figure is pretty plain, but it's par for the course for the movie figure, because it's from Deadpool and it looks how it's supposed to from that movie, so that's good. He does have pinless arms and pinless legs. He has these baggy pants and then these zipped up boots right there. With all these straps. He does have some more pockets all throughout the pants, so that is really cool. But he is really tall as well, so that's good. He's about, like, what? I'd say he's probably the same size, if not a little bit bigger, than the movie Venom figure. So that is pretty cool. But, yeah. He does have the silver paint, which, again, I keep mentioning that, but it's really nice. And then he does have some black paint up there top for the head sculpt. Mine does have a little bit of paint chipping, I think. Well, maybe not. Oh, wait, no, it was on my comic. Colossus, my bad. But, yeah, so I am really glad to have this Colossus figure because I did really want this guy when they first revealed him at... When did they reveal these figures? Like, San Diego Comic-Con, I think it was. But, yeah, he does have that nice silver paint. And you can see as the arms go down, the paint for the... or the bands get tighter and tighter, especially on the hands. But the paint is, like, perfectly applied on this guy for the, like, black bands and everything. So, yeah, that is really nice. So, yeah, now with that said, taking a look at the figure, let's go ahead and take a look at his accessories. First off, on the figure, he does have this nice grouching head, but you can pop this head sculpt off, and that is a really nice head sculpt. And he does come with this alternate pissed off angry Colossus head sculpt, and I love it because look at that. That looks amazing. So yeah, you got the pissed off head sculpt and the other head sculpt. So really cool that they included two head sculpts with this guy. I personally prefer the angry head sculpt, but they look amazing. They both look great, and they really do look like Colossus from the movie. So yeah, that is really cool. And then he also comes with two fisted hands already on the figure. You can pop those off, and he does include an alternate gripping hands, or sorry, open relaxed hands, which are really nice. So yeah, that's great. Glad he included 2 of these. It would have been nice if he could include like real like gripping grabby hands like the comic figure did, but it doesn't really matter. These hands are nice, and they are meant to hold his last accessory, which is this X-Men rule book that I don't know if he uses this like to show weight or something. I'm trying to get it to focus, but yeah, mutant mandate I don't know what that says, but yeah, that is really nice. And he does actually have the rules in here. So rule number 1, no killing anyone ever. Rule number 2, label everything in the refrigerator. So yeah, that is really nice. And he does have the little X right there for the book. So yeah, that is really cool. And you can use these hands for him to hold the actual book, which is really cool. So yeah, he can hold the book in his hand. It's a little loose, but it works. So yeah, that is a really cool detail. I'm glad they included that. $40 for this figure though is, I think, a little bit steep, but it is what it is. I still don't know, because they did price the Man-Thing figure, and that's kind of like their new deluxe, like big character pricing now, $40. I don't know how I would feel about that. It is what it is. But yeah, so now let's go ahead and take a look at his articulation. So he does have a ball jointed hinge at the top for his neck. He does look that far up, which is nice, and he does look that far down, also really nice. Not a lot of tilt because it is on the hinge, and he does get all the way around. He does have arm joints that go up past 90, so that is really nice, and that is mainly due to the rotator cuffs, just like Wolverine on this figure. So yeah, he has those nice new rotator cuffs. Still prefer the butterfly joints, but that is pretty cool. So they do move in all the directions. On my figure though, the rotator cuffs and the arm joints are really tight. So whenever I try to move the arm, sometimes when I have him like his elbows like this, whenever I try to move the arm up, it just moves the bicep swivel out. So that does kind of suck, because the arm joints are really, really tight on my figure. But I mean, that is nice though, so that they don't get loose. But you know, he does have a bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows, really nice paint. Again, keep mentioning that damn paint, but it is amazing. And he does have the hinge and swivel at the arms. Now this is the worst part about this figure. This is straight. This is his normal straight articulation for the ab. What the hell is that? What is that articulation? Look, this is basic. This is the normal straight up, standing straight up and tall. That's all the crunch he gets. That is horrible. The crunch on this guy is horrible. And then that's all he gets back. It is better than forward, but still not great. That is a horrible ab crunch. So yeah, Hasbro, never do that again. That is horrible. You can, like, he gets no crunch. This is why I prefer the lower ab crunch and the upper diaphragm joint. Although they could have done this better, because that is just really bad. And then he does have the dreaded, in my opinion, waist swivel. So yeah. And I do want to mention that the like crotch piece is like really loose on my figure. I don't know if you guys can see that, how it's like just shifting up and down in there. So yeah, that does suck. But he does kick this far up. He does have no drop down hinges for the legs, but he does have thigh swivel, double jointed pinless knees, which are really nice. He does have boot cut, again, really nice, and he does have the ankle hinges that go that far forward and that far down, and then he does have some pivot. So yeah, overall articulation is pretty good, minus the ab crunch, because that ab crunch is absolutely horrible, and he gets no range in that whatsoever. So yeah, ab crunch sucks on that figure. But with that done now we're gonna get into some size comparisons. Okay, taking a look at some size comparisons. First of all, we have the new Deadpool wave compared next to Logan from the Deadpool Legacy Collection wave, and Deadpool from the Deadpool Legacy Collection wave. So yeah, there we have those two. Now the newer Deadpool, I think I think, is a little bit taller, or maybe it's just the same exact height. Yeah, I think they're the same height as the old one. So yeah, pretty cool. Colossus does look pretty good next to the Deadpool Legacy Collection wave, and then of course you have these two, which they do look good together. The Logan and the Wolverine, they look pretty good next to each other. So taking these guys out of the way, I do want to compare them next to, I only have a couple of other figures to compare them next to, but here we have my comic Deadpool. So yeah, comic Deadpool compared next to the movie Deadpool and the movie figures. And then here we also have Sabretooth to compare next to Wolverine. Just thought it'd be a cool little comic comparison. But yeah, there we have the comic Deadpool and the comic Sabretooth. Now taking these guys out of the way, I do have one more comparison, and that is the comic Colossus to compare next to the movie version. I did want to compare these guys next to each other. Let me know which one you guys prefer down in the comments below. Comic or movie version of Colossus. Same with Deadpool and Wolverine. And then I also, I did want to compare a couple other figures actually. But yeah, so here we have the comic Colossus next to the movie Colossus. Let me know which one you guys prefer down in the comments. I also wanted to compare the movie Wolverine next to the comic Wolverine. Here we have the Astonishing X-Men version. So as you can see, obviously this guy's way shorter than the movie version, but that's because the comic version is supposed to be short. Hugh Jackman is just really tall. But yeah, so that is a cool little comparison right there. Did want to include that. Here he is next to Deadpool as well. So yeah, that's really cool. And then one last comparison. Pull this guy off my shelf. Here we have the comic Logan next to the movie figures. Gonna put him next to Deadpool actually. But yeah, so there is comic Logan next to the movie Deadpool Wolverine figures. So yeah, that is pretty much all the size comparisons I have for today. So now let's get into my final thoughts. Okay, so what are my final thoughts on the Deadpool and Wolverine movie wave? Honestly, these figures are amazing. I really do love these figures, especially Wolverine and Deadpool, and especially Colossus. Well, actually, sorry, take that back. All of these guys, I love these guys' figures so much. They are definitely peak, as Merc with our Ultimate Merc Productions would say. These figures are incredible. I think if I had to pick a favorite, I actually don't know which one I would pick as my favorite. I genuinely don't know, actually. These guys are all really great. The accessories they all come with are really nice. Have all these accessories. So, yeah. They all come with a good amount of accessories, especially Deadpool. Now, I do think that they could have used a little bit more, like, they could have updated the articulation on these guys, I think, a little bit. Like, they could have done better articulation for Colossus, especially in the ab department. They could have done the new updated torso articulation for Deadpool and Wolverine. They could have included a Wade Wilson unmasked head sculpt for Deadpool. But other than that, guys, that is pretty much it. These guys are incredible. I think the articulation on these guys, for the most part, minus Colossus's ab articulation, is pretty good. The paintwork is amazing. The sculpting work is probably the best part about these figures. So yeah, guys, with that said, I think that's gonna do it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments if you do want to see, like, versus video. Like, I was thinking of doing a versus between Legacy Collection Deadpool and this Deadpool. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube normal. Let me know what you guys, let me do all that YouTube normal down in the comments below. But let me know what you guys think about these figures. And yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. See you guys in the next one. Peace.